and he's been doing our Wednesday night Linny game, and he was also at Gettysburg thing, and Alexander and your
Bill.
mama's is Bill, and and they were also both people we met in Gettysburg, and so
Great.
uh,
That's great. I'm glad. I just totally barged in on them. It never occurred to me that it wouldn't be you guys, but anyway, I'm just laughing at myself for not being able
yeah,
to remember from 24 hours later that we were going to play tonight.
Okay. Yeah, we I wasn't sure if you were entertaining clients and you were in
No,
some sort of drunken revelry or what was
no,
going on.
no. The class starts tomorrow morning at 08:30, and I, I, I mean, I'm fine until then. I just don't want to be up late because I know I'm going to be
right,
up late for the rest of the week.
yeah, and there's Sperry, yes, and I believe he you were. Did you join us last week?
I think I see him in the I see him in
Well,
our game.
Yeah,
somebody joined the
Oh
Discord
yeah, he's
room.
in our Discord. Yeah, he was up
yeah.
in the lobby. So, hey Perry, how are you?
Hi, Eric. Good. Hope I'm on the right channel here. I don't know.
You were in the right place.
Lobby and Prussian headquarters, and
Yeah, no, there's so the nice thing is other people are using the Discord channel
I
to
know,
play their
which is great.
games. Yeah, because most of the time it's just us, and so I when I joined tonight, I'm like, hey, there's other people using the channel, hooray!
That's
So,
great. That's what it's for, right?
yep,
that's good. Glad I found.
yeah. Hey, so I did want
Hmm.
to let you know I'm going to be posting something in Facebook as well, but next Monday evening. Um, David and I are going to be doing a workshop on how to play Premier rules. And the following Monday, we're going to do a workshop on how to play 5th edition rules. So just a heads up on that. And I'll have some stuff posted to the channel as well. But there were a bunch of people. Mark Ruggiero had organized a poll um, asking people what they wanted to learn and if they wanted to get some help learning La Bataille, and and so we had about 18 people who said they wanted to learn, and
Oh,
so
really?
yeah, and so I'd volunteered that I would be happy to help teach, and so that's what I'm going to try to organize then for next week.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Did you mention the date and time? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
So it will be next Monday. So that'll be what, the 22nd, I believe.
Okay.
And it will be at 5 o'clock Pacific time, which is 8 o'clock out on the East Coast. I'm not sure where in the universe you are.
Okay, I'm on the West Coast,
Oh, okay.
so
Will 5 o'clock
um,
work for you, or is that too early?
same way here on Discord and
Yeah, we'll be on Discord, and then what we'll
Vessel.
have is we'll have Vassal and we'll have the Dresden game. So
Okay.
part of it will be getting everybody to be on Discord and have the Dresden module, and then I'll have some sample stuff up so we can kind of go through a sample turn. And then if you haven't done so already, I've got a sequence of play cards for both Premier and 5th edition, and you can download those and print them out, and then you can they're super helpful for kind of going through the order of play and the order of actions and whatnot.
Oh, I believe I only got one of those. Which ones do I have? I didn't know you had this other set.
Yeah, I did the sequence of play for Premiere first, and I did that back in what, maybe
Yeah, I think that's the one
2021,
I have.
and then I did a sequence of play for 5th edition 2022. So about a year later, I got that. I posted that one, or got that one put together. So
And
yeah,
those
people
eights
have.
are on.
So they're on Facebook. If you're in the Facebook Labatai channel,
Mhm.
they're there. And where else could you find them? If you're not on Facebook, I think I'd also put them maybe up on Board Game Geek, but I'd have to look around and see. I think maybe in for the fifth edition sequence of play, it's with the Linnea page on Board Game Geek, and for the premiere one, I'm not sure where I put that one, but
Right.
it was with one of the Marshall games, so that way they were kind of with the appropriate game for the appropriate rules you'd be using.
Yeah, I forgot the premier ones. You
Yeah,
can always
I can
email
always
me.
yeah I could always email you a copy. So well, cool. Well, are we ready to start chucking some dice?
Yeah, and I think it's the 4:40. We're at the top
It
of the hour.
is.
At the
It
top
Yeah.
is the
turn.
440 turn.
So it means it's everything's wide open.
Yeah.
Just the way we
And
like it.
and which special event are we going to get this time?
Well,
Well, that's
hey,
not special at all.
that's special at all. But it does advance
Advance
the clock for what it's
clock,
Yeah.
worth.
it does, and it is a Prussian activation.
Yep.
And so then we got to decide who wants to activate quick and who wants to activate later.
Uh,
And
what we got here? That's so these. What do we
I've
got?
got one that I could do early. Um, bup, 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 bup. Um,
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
just checking. Game leader's command range. I may not be able to do what I want to do. No, I'm not. Um, so I'll just go ahead and do KO. And that's probably what we'll start with.
KO's here, right?
Yep, that's the
Okay.
one. Exactly. And let's see, he is part of Penavere, and Penavere is within reach of the king, so he's all good. These guys down here are both out of command, hence my problem. But I'll go ahead and roll to see if I can undisorder them. It's going to be. Oh, he's out of command too.
Yep. They're all KO.
So they're all going to be. Oh, excuse me. That one, the one I just indicated, is going to be plus 15 because he's in an enemy zone of control.
That's still probably good enough. Your guys are like
Probably.
in the 20s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So right. So he is undisordered. And then this guy will just be plus 5. The next one. Oh, I don't think that's going to do it. I don't
Nope.
think he's a 60. No. Good, but not that good. And again, plus 15 for this guy down here. And he'll be
That's
all
good
right.
enough.
Interesting. So the hard ones I was able to get. The easy one I wasn't. So go
It's
figure.
the Prussian way.
It's the Prussian way. What can you do? All
And this
right.
guy is also is KO.
I'll be
The
darned,
guy
so he
who's
is.
shaken and disordered. Yeah.
Yeah, so +5 for him. Probably good enough too, but we'll double check.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Shame all these guys are so good and they're all getting wasted here, but it's probably because I'm not really doing a very good job managing them. So, all right, there we go. That's that. And and we do there. Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. So we'll go ahead and move these fellas. Not going to do any shooting. Okay, that was a joke. Um, all right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that'll be enough. And then I will move this fella 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6.
Wouldn't
And,
it cost more than that to go up the slope?
well, it'd be 7, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, but
Uh,
right. So
let's see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
4, 5, 6. There.
Okay, that
That'll work.
works.
So, yeah. All right. And what else do we do here, boys? Can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. Not a lot of options. Or at least I got options, but they're all lousy. 1, 2, 3, 4. What a strange idea. 1, 2, 3, 4. What a weird idea. If I put him there, 1, 2, 3, 4, still won't be in fact. Well, whatever. All right. So this is going to be an odd behavior. No, that doesn't make any sense. All right. Well, I'll just put him over here then. And I think that's going to be that. And so then we will do charge here with this guy. And we'll go ahead and roll for the morale check. Not too worried about that. And then we'll start marching up and down the square. 1, 2. And at this point, if you so chose, you could turn and face with the chance of a disorder.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise you're going to hit me in the flank, right?
Of course I am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
I
was
should.
born at night, not last night.
Yeah. Here we go. 96. We're
Think that's
definitely going to
okay.
turn.
All
Even
right.
for
And
Austrian cavalry, they passed.
yeah. Yeah, and then I will go out that away because I don't really want to be any closer to your infantry than I have to be. All right, so now you go ahead and roll your disorder or your morale check, sorry.
Oh, I thought I passed when I did my reaction.
What you did was you just did a disorder check. Or did you become disordered when you turned to face?
Okay, so
But
this is just so when is it that you so when is it that you accomplish both at the same time? Is that only infantry that do that?
no, so if you elect to countercharge, which obviously you weren't eligible for, but if you elect to countercharge, then the die roll enabling your countercharge is your defender morale check.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's really roll it
That's what I'm
once. That
confusing. Okay.
right. This
All right.
is two really kind of different things you're doing here.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. 38. That's still probably good enough for these guys. Yep.
Probably good enough. Yeah, there we go. All right. All right. So that's it. It's 8-4. So 2-1 odds. You've got a +5. These guys are pretty good. And I've got
You got
+5.
plus
You
1, 2,
each get
3.
+2, so we're both 7. And then
You
I get
charge 3.
8, 9, 10 for the charge. So it looks like it's 2-1 +3. Is that fair?
Yeah, because you went 3 and I didn't
3
do a
X?
3. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, there we go. So one of those rare occasions where you've got a better combat value than I do.
Yeah, well, we'll see how well that pans out.
Yeah, I mean, there's no telling, but yeah, there we go. All right, and so 2-1 +3, and that's a good roll for you.
That is. So that's what
2-1
a
minus
1.
1, then
So that's going to be a MM.
it
looking
is
at
an
that correctly.
MM. So I will roll for mine because I'm the attacker, and boy, I need to get better than a 15.
And
I
you
do get better than a 15.
Okay, and my roll 36. I was also
All right.
successful.
Okay. So now it's just straight up 2-1
Yeah, no pluses.
because there are no pluses. It's just what the printed values are. So it's 2-1, no pluses, and whoever wins will be disordered at the end of this.
Okay.
All right, because we're going into the second combat round, and so here we go again,
Oof.
and a special
results.
because that's what we needed.
Oh, so you lose 3 and there's an M. I lose 3 and there's an M, and there's an asterisk by your leader, I
Boy,
guess.
all right, well, I got to roll for my guy and see if he gets vaporized. He does.
Yay, there was much rejoicing.
Yeah, it's been just one of those lives.
Oh, the poor electrons.
Yes.
I know. Those particular electrons were great favorites of mine. Okay, that was
painful.
bad.
Hey, but the
Yeah.
luck of that unit held out. Those
Yeah,
guys
so
are the
it's
ones who
2-1
succeeded last time.
2-1 minus 1 now. So we got that going for us, which is nice. Actually, it's not 2-1 anymore, is it?
No, it's probably much better. I've only got 1 increment left.
Yeah, it's 5-1, but
Yeah.
it's -1. Oh, no, it's not -1 because you're half dead, so it's +1.
Don't we have to roll the M? Don't we roll to see if anybody's left?
Oh, of course it is. Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Yes. So you're at 41 and I'm at 27, so you would have to roll first.
Yep, here we go. Hey, I pass. What's left of me? And
All
you
right, I
pass
pass
too.
as well. Now it's 5-1 plus 1.
Yeah. So now you'd have to roll another
Gotta
0
fuck it
and
up
make me
again.
laugh.
Unbelievable.
Oh, you did it again.
Unbelievable.
All right, so you lose 2 and I lose 1 and I'm gone.
So now I'm more than half dead and disordered and out in the middle of nowhere. That's not how that was supposed to work.
Well, on the bright side, you've just eliminated one of the best Austrian cavalry units on the map.
Yeah, that and a couple of dollars will make you. Yeah. Okay. And okay. Wow. That's no buena por caca. But oh well, that's how baseball goes. I would flip the leader over, but he's already 6 feet under, so I don't
Yeah,
need to.
he's boots up somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
All right, then it's all over to you for the next
all right, here we
activation.
go. 74. Hey, that's one for the Austrians.
And is that enough to move it, or I can
No.
never remember?
Nope. We have to break
Speed.
11. So he's got to have
Okay.
12 or more.
Okay, very good.
All right. Well, I can
Too many things.
activate Puebla and he can do some shooting, right? We got all these people here that can blast away at your poor benighted cavalry. That might be very satisfying. Yeah, so let's do that. So we got Puebla. Puebla is within range of his leader, who is within range of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, within range of Dawn. So everyone's in command. Yeah, and let's just start shooting at you. So I've got this and this. They can fire their musketry here first.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to have 4 increments and 4 increments. So I'll have 8 increments.
Times 3.
Times 3.
24.
So that's going to be 24. And yeah, okay. It's pretty simple. So 24 to 10, that's going to be 2 to 1. Let's see what we get. 58. That is a hit and a morale check. And I presume they still stick around even though they're half dead, right?
Yeah, I mean, plus 10's not going to be enough.
No.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. All right. And then I can have, I've got muskets here and I've got guns here, but I fire them separately, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
infantry and
Okay.
guns would have to fire separately.
So I'll fire the muskets first. So I've got 4 times.
No, you'd only have 2 times because the guns are on top.
Oh, okay. So I've got 2 times. So I got 4 to 10, I guess. It's not a whole heck of a lot. And that roll is
No.
not good enough to do anything. And then I've got 2 times, what's my fire value? 2 times 3. So I've got 6. So
2
6
then?
to 10. Yeah, I've got 2 increments there, and they're times. It says it's times 3 at 2 hexes range, right?
Sure.
Yep. Okay, here we go. 35. That's not enough to do anything. All right. So let me go ahead and mark those guys as finished. All right, and then I've got troops here and here that can fire there.
Right.
So
So the
that
ones
should
on the
be
right there, the ones on the right can fire all 4 increments. The one on the left can only fire 2 increments because they're in a hook.
So where are they firing the other?
Well, they're not. So when you're in hook,
Oh,
you
so
can
they
only
fire
hit
4 out through the. So they'd
through
be
that
firing
hex.
full there. Okay, I was
That's
curious
right.
where that was. So I've got
Yeah.
6 times 3, so I've got 18. So it's
Okay.
1.5 to 1.
Yeah.
And there's a
plus
plus something. You've got
It's
12
12.
increments. So that's going to be plus 15. Okay,
Okay.
here we go. So plus 15, that's going to bring it up to 60.
I
At one
might
and a half
just
to
do it.
1, that's enough for a hit,
I
but
think it
no morale
is.
check.
Alrighty.
Slowly chipping away at them. All right. As far as people that are disordered or otherwise unhappy, I don't have anybody, but there's more people, Puebla people, are marching up from the rear. So let me go ahead and move them. So we've got a half, and there's 1, and there's 2. Okay. And there's 2. And there is 1, and that's 2. And then this guy back here, 1 and 2 gets him there. And I think that takes care of the little Pueblians. All right, so for their movement, can you be in 2 hexes and be in a hook? Can you be in a
Uh,
2 hex line and have a hook at
I
one
think
end?
I think you can. Yeah, it's I think it's a little bit unusual, but I believe so. In which case, really, obviously, only the one hex is really in hook. The other
Right,
hex is,
right.
but yeah, I believe that's legal.
But may I ask what you mean by hook?
Yeah, so the end of the line, you can put a marker on it. So if you're looking here towards the center of the line where I've got this counter here that says left hook, this particular unit, if they're attacked on this flank, it's not considered a flank hex. If I didn't have that there, this hex side here would be just an open flank, and they could get hit and abused.
Right. So basically, it's refusing one flank or the other so that you don't have a flank exposed.
Mm-hmm.
So, in
Well,
other
it's a
words,
formation
it's
term then. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it's part of the very linear aspect of warfare at this time.
Mhm.
Yeah, so in some games like La Bataille, they if you've got a neighbor back here, then this hex would be considered non-flank hex. But in this particular game, if you don't put a marker on it, you've got your
Flank hanging out in
flank
the air.
hanging out in the open.
That's right.
Okay.
So, all right. So now the question is, what do we want to do? So against cavalry, if I attacked, of course, you could just retreat before combat, correct? So that's not,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
probably
really
would. Yeah.
worthwhile. Um, okay. Well, we'll just kind of
And
leave.
Harry, it's in 8.1b in the rules for
There you go.
our
Okay.
rules.
Start quoting scripture to him here, brother. That's the way.
All right. Then what I will do is I'm going to advance this guy here. I'm going to take that guy out of hook and put this guy in hook instead. And then I can advance the guns into that hex. Because they can shoot and prolong. So that will get them there.
Right, because they're BB guns on wheels.
Pretty much, in a word.
Yeah.
Hey, but it's better than a poke in the eye. So,
Well, it depends. If the BB hits you in the eye, then maybe it's going to be kind of a wash.
all right. Cool. All right, I think that takes care of it for Puebla. So let me go ahead and flip him over. All right, David, it's time for you to chuck some dice.
Chuck some dice. Big roll.
That is a big roll. You guys got a wing.
That's a wing.
A wing ding activation.
A wing, should you choose to accept it. Like an impossible mission. All right. Well, what's next there, David?
What's next?
We brush the ruffians back.
You got a need for a wing?
I don't have a need for a wing. I mean, the turn's so early that I don't think we're going to run out of activations unless we roll like we did last time. But no, I don't need a wing. And so then the question is, could we use a wing regardless? And who do you have? You've got, what is it? Why do I have the Austrian army over and over again and I can't find the Prussian army? There we go.
It's because you're planning on defecting.
Ah, well, based on how the battle's going, I think that's not entirely unfair. All right. Well, I don't know. I mean, you could certainly do Trescow and just bring them on. You could bring on Zeaton's boys. You could just do a single activation on Zeaton, or maybe you could do the whole wing and involve the medium cavalry as well. I think you got lots of opportunities there where a wing could probably start moving things along.
Kind of thinking a little along that line. That might help. Let's see.
I mean, the truth is, Eric's never going to win this battle if we don't get up there and engage.
Yes, yes. If you just hang back and just we wait for the sun to set, then the Austrians will have won by some sort of magical default. So,
Although, actually, in real life, if Frederick had elected not to fight today, that would have been a victory compared to what happened.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
He did not need to fight today. The game kind of puts us in an artificial circumstance.
well, just like so many of the different games where we're dealing with a particular battle, and you're
Of
like,
course.
you know, if they'd waited another X, Y, or Z, situation would have been better. So,
Amen.
but
Amen.
here you're trying to see if you can do better than Frederick.
That's it.
Yeah, it's always the fun challenge.
Yeah. Today, I'm not so sure, but okay. Even though he lost, I'm not sure.
Well, you can't do worse than Frederick.
I guess not.
That's so you have to look at it that way. I'm the one with all the pressure.
Short of taking a
I've-
musket ball. to his
I've
head.
got to do better than I've got to somehow do better than Dawn, who eked
Okay.
out a victory. So
All right. Let's see. Well, it's only electrons will die. I'll take the wing here, and we'll see what happens.
Ah, the spirit.
all right.
What do we got here? It's not bad. Okay. All right. So first, disorders. So let's see if we can disorder this guy up front. So he's what, plus 15 or more, or whatever.
Yeah, just roll. No,
No.
he's still disordered.
Disordered. And let's try this guy here. And
That's good enough.
And we'll try this guy here. Should be good enough. He should now just shaking, right?
Yep, what's left of him is quivering. And then you got somebody else back by the road.
Yeah.
1 increment.
Yep.
One.
1 increment.
But they're a very motivated single increment.
I think anybody's going to hold it against you if you just call it a day. Really.
All right. So that's the disorders. Next is movement.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's see. These guys. All right. So the guy in the back can only move half, right?
Yeah, because they're out of command.
All
Yeah.
right.
On the other hand, they're in column, so they can move twice as fast at half speed,
Yeah.
approximately.
2, 3, 4. All right. So we'll turn 1, 2, 3, 4. And the other guy here, I think he's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Shaking guy. He's still just half, right?
Yeah, since he's out of command.
That 1.5. Two and a half. 3.5. All right. Let's see what to do. Got here. Mhm.
Zeet and Nassars have got a lot to answer for there. Kind of would have been nice if you decided to show up.
Is that his regiment?
I guess. I mean, what do they call that?
Because I think at this time they're still, kind of recruiting.
Yeah,
Units and
what's a proprietary regiment? Is that what I want to say?
it's
That doesn't sound like quite the right word.
but it's
But
it's still very feudal.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it definitely has that. So unlike the French, where this is battalion number 57, or it's regiment number
Right.
59.
exactly.
This is the so and so's regiment, and that's because it was raised by whatever that person was from whatever
Yeah.
particular property of his on some distant estate in
Exactly.
Austria somewhere or Prussia.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, it really seems like East Prussia, especially being really rural, probably heavily medieval still in that sense. Whereas, cities would probably be a little bit less like that.
Yeah. But you do get in with the Prussians in 1813 and 1814 and 15, you get the Landwehr that are coming.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
right.
they are specifically attached to a they're from Kurmark, or they're from Pomerania, or
Well,
they're
right.
from
But basically a
yeah.
militia, right?
Yep. Yeah, and the Austrians, well, certainly different elements of them. What's going on? Okay. So, all right. Have you done with your movement, David?
Nope. I'm still trying to figure out how I can get these guys in here the way I want to. Good.
This is what happens when you have too much stuff.
Oh, we'll take care of that.
Yeah. I don't have
Just
that problem
charge.
anymore. Yeah.
Charge,
Yeah.
and you'll have less stuff. That'll be great.
Right. That's what I'm working on.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's can both these artillery stack with the infantry, or do I have to move the infantry out?
Well, the artillery would count as what? When it's
Oh.
unlimbered, how much?
Yeah. This is one of these things. I pointed it out to. Matthew, and I don't think he ever gave me an answer because I think there isn't a good answer. So, if you look at it, when we talk about like sizes of units for purposes of fire combat, you'd hold each of those increments as equal to 4 strength, or each of the strength points equal to 4 infantry strength points, right?
Right. Okay. 16.
But if you did that, then you would assume that the stacking for artillery would always be a quarter the stacking for infantry. And it isn't.
It
It's
looks like
usually half.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't really know what the reasoning is for that. But if we wanted to, we could just keep it simple and think about it that way. The two of those together are consuming half of the ability of stacking for the hex. And those grenadiers are not enough to take up the other half. So yes, they would all fit.
There.
And you could. Oh,
Well, no, would they?
actually,
Because you've got 4 increments of guns. Is that equivalent then to 8 increments of, or is
he's
it
in a
equivalent to, or is it equivalent to 16 increments?
Well,
Those
exactly.
one increment is worth 4, right? So
except
that's
for
16 increments.
right. And but there's the problem, right? Because if that were the case, then the artillery stacking of 8 and a hex would be more than 16 infantry in a hex, and that doesn't make any sense. So it's clear that for stacking purposes, the ratio is 2 to 1, not 4 to 1. I don't know why it is.
Huh.
Now, to be fair, infantry in column, it is 4 to 1.
Right.
But if you wanted to just think about it from just the starting as if this was just artillery alone in a hex, like they are right now, And unfortunately, it's further complicated by the fact that actually only 6 can stack in a village hex. But right now, there's 4 of them. So that's 2/3 of the stacking availability in that hex, right?
Right.
So then what's 1/3 of the stacking availability for infantry and line in a village hex? And the answer there would be 4. So, I mean, if you look at it according to the table, the terrain table
looking
where
at
it
the
talks
terrain
about
table,
number of
yeah.
increments, then I would say that yeah, you can fit 4 infantry and 4 guns in a village hex. I don't know why the ratios are the ratios, because then why is it 4-to-1 for gunners? If you're shooting at guns, why is it 4-to-1? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I
yeah.
said, never got a great answer, but I would say yes. Now the only problem is, can both of them get in there this turn? And I don't think they can. The guy with 2 movement points,
No, there's none with
the guy with 4 movement.
They can't unlimber, but they can both get in there.
Yeah, but they can't be stacked with infantry if they're. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess they can now, can't they? That was the whole point of having them facing hex vertices.
Right.
Is that they could. So yeah, okay. Given the optional rule, you're right. They could just move in, or you could just move the one in, and the other one could unlimber in the hex behind and then prolong in the next turn. Depends on whether you want to have guys.
Can he prolong into a village?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, unless the game says specifically that you can't prolong into some certain terrain type, then you can. And especially these villages, which are loose conglomeration of buildings, I would really be surprised if there was any rules about that. A lot of times what you'll get is you can't do it up steep slopes. That's a pretty reasonable thing, right?
Right.
I'm not even sure that's in these rules, though. Haven't seen it yet. Looking for special artillery rules. I don't even see any mention about the Swedish fieldworks prohibiting it. But I have seen it in other games where they specify certain terrain types. No, even under the special rules for artillery, it doesn't say. So either way works. I don't like letting limbered units be anywhere near the enemy just because it's too easy to shoot them up.
All right. So we'll leave it like that, right?
Why not?
All right. Now let's see. All right. How am I going to do this? That is lots. Well. This. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Things go in at the bottom of a stack, right?
Don't have to.
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
Yeah, we did. Um, you can reorder at the end of your movement. Seems like you ought to come in the bottom of the stack, but that's not what the rules say.
And this guy's still in the stack, but he's going to be on top.
8.
2,
Exciting.
3,
What we want.
5, 6, and this one's going to go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. These guys are out of command, so they can only do half move, right? This guy's over here.
Yep.
So let's just, we'll move there. All right, let's see. Can this guy counter? He's in the zone of control of that.
Counter what?
If I move it,
Yeah. Right. I
he's
could
in the-
opportunity charge him.
Well,
So either of these guys, this guy could opportunity charge, or this guy could opportunity charge if this guy
Right.
moves.
no,
correct.
I'm not saying that guy moving.
Oh,
I'm saying if this guy moves into here, you're pinned, right?
That is true. Yes.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
you're in an enemy zone of control, so they can't countercharge.
Well, maybe. Oh, that's what I'll do.
There we go. Now we got it.
That's what I'll do.
Piece of cake.
Oh, except that's not going to work.
Good times.
Yeah. Do woods block line of sight?
They do.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see into them, but not through them.
yeah.
Right. Well, that'll help. Okay. All right. I think that's. Do I have anything else I need to move? I think that's the end of my movement. All right. I'm going to have charges here. All right. Is there a thing for us to mark that?
Seemed like we
As
had
long as you
something.
have fewer than 20, we should be able to remember. Oh, he's just going hog wild here with his charges.
Yeah.
It's just electrons.
Yeah.
Got to do something here.
That's it.
See what's going to happen here.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
Okay.
Why not?
Why not? All right, we'll
Just
start
roll.
with this one here to see if he's going to go. All right. No,
Yep,
he's
he's
gonna
good.
go.
That is, yes.
And we'll try this guy. No,
Nope.
he's not.
Special
You're
result.
shaking.
We don't know.
Oh,
He might.
True.
Not.
He may still go. Let's see.
this
0,
is
6.
not a disorder, but a morale check, right?
Morale check type B.
0, 6. If with a leader it passes, otherwise re-roll with a +5 to the ER value.
Right?
All right, so reroll +5. That should be fine.
Yep.
Should
They're
be.
not a 35.
Right.
No, I don't imagine.
Nope.
No. There. Yes, they are a 21. And this guy. Oh, he's fine.
Yep.
See?
This guy. He's fine. And last but not least,
Last but not least.
and it may be least, but oh,
Nope.
he's
They're
going
all going in.
Least. All right. It's going to be just
a bloodbath.
horse flesh flying.
All right. So let's do that. Now, do I do all the charge movement now, or?
You do one at a time.
All the charge movement gets done first.
All right, so he's going there, right? So if I wanted to reaction charge, I could do so, correct?
That's correct. You could.
Okay. We'll see if we can reaction charge with this guy.
All right.
48, we do.
Well,
Going to hit you in the flank there.
all right.
All right.
What other movement you got?
So this guy is going to he's there.
Yeah, sure.
Here, don't put your head under the desk, big fat dog.
10. This one is going. Yep, he's going.
Okay, before they
here.
go, I was going to reaction charge with this guy.
All right.
62, we spur forward.
Comedy gold.
Boom.
Okay. All good.
All right.
That's a death wish if I ever saw
Hey,
one.
that's what they're there for. It's the Daffy
That's
Duck
it.
Hussars.
And there's nothing you can do left there. Boom. Now
Right.
this guy.
He's in kind of a spot.
So does he have to go forward, or?
He doesn't have
Um,
I don't know who he was going to charge because you can't see anybody.
Well, this was going to go charge
Well, no,
here, and he was going to come up through here.
well, the truth is he can see this guy. It's just he can't reach him because he's
Right.
going to have to stop
Yep.
when he gets here.
So what happens? What's in this case? This is.
I think he routes.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't
Or he's
route.
shaken
That's-
or something, right?
Yeah. I'm just going to look for the exact wording, if I may. Charge movement. Where is it? Oh, here we go. All right. Um,
What paragraph
right.
are you looking at?
Charge movement immediately ends when the cavalry enters an EZOC or is placed in the EZOC of countercharging enemy cavalry. Charging cavalry doesn't have to stop simply because there's an enemy unit in its ZOC, but may continue its charge movement. If the active player designates a cavalry unit to initiate close combat and miscalculates the charge such that the cavalry does not finish with an enemy unit in its ZOC or is not in the EZOC of a countercharging unit, the cavalry is returned to the hex from which it began the charge and is marked and shaken and disordered. Any defender facing or formation change reactions made in response to the aborted charge remain in effect. So that's interesting because if you look at that wording, that wording would suggest that. So first of all, if he were to advance, and let's be honest, he'd have to advance if he was going to charge, right?
Right.
So he would have to move into that hex, which is southwest of him, and he would immediately have to stop because he's in an enemy zone of control. However, because the enemy zone of control is not of a countercharging unit, it doesn't count. If somebody countercharged you and hit you in the flank like that,
Right.
then that would be fair. But as it is, that guy isn't countercharging you, yet you're in his EZOC. So I think this is a case where he has to go back and is shaken in disorder because he just basically aborts.
Yep.
I think that's what it sounds like to me too. So
Yeah. And really, I find that is really tricky, the ordering of cavalry charges. And yeah, the defender sometimes can interrupt your best laid plans, but sometimes it's just, sometimes you just got to take your guess, and sometimes exactly this is going to happen. So.
In what order do you declare a cavalry charge and a counter charge? Like one cavalry charge and then the counter charge, then the next cavalry charge and the counter charge?
Yeah, so the first thing you need to do as the attacker is you need to declare who is attempting to charge. And then you have to roll, first of all, you have to declare who all those are, and then you have to roll the morale check for each of them. And once you've established who's actually succeeded in going in because they passed the morale check, then you move stacks one at a time. And then when you get within 2 hexes of the enemy can countercharge. And then once you're locked, then you move on to the next stack, and you just do all the charge movement. When all the charge movement and obviously countercharge movement is done, then the attacker figures out who he's got to attack and where, and then proceeds. Did that help?
Let's see where there's a great deal of confusion.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, I'm still trying to figure out what happens here. It's an unusual circumstance. But that's okay. That's why we have the book full of rules here. So we're going to look.
So that's a reaction charge now, huh? Is that resolved immediately, or is that?
No. Unlike an opportunity charge which happens during the enemy's movement, the opportunity charger is the attacker.
Right.
But in the case of countercharge, the original attacker is still the attacker. But what I'm trying to figure out is, and I think I was just about to the section that was going to describe it. Ordinarily, of course, you're going to attack the people who are in your zone of control. Obviously, in this case, there isn't somebody. So it says here, countercharge movement and the defending cavalry option can result in situations in which a committed attacker will have no enemy unit in its front hexes, but will have a defender in its flank or rear hex. In these cases, the attacker will still follow through with the attack, even though the defender is not in the attacker's zone of control. So that means that this guy is going to be obliged to attack this guy, even though you wouldn't think he would because you're
Right.
not facing him, but he's going to have to.
Yeah, which makes sense because, you guys came forward and I spurred out and kind of caught them in the flank there. Yeah.
And you have to deal with them.
Yeah.
And because this guy is attacking this guy's not obliged to attack him, but he is obliged to attack him because there's nobody else going to attack him. So that those two are one stack versus one stack, very straightforward. And of course, this is obviously the same thing. This guy has to attack this guy. This guy's under no obligation to attack this guy, but he does have to attack this guy. And then I think we're set. David decides what order to do those in, and how they order could actually have an influence on the subsequent battle.
Well, the only one that I see that makes a difference is get this one over with first.
Okay.
And so what do we
It
got?
should be exciting. Now, in this case, the defender has already done his morale check because he countercharged.
Yep. So I will
And
have
so-
2 plus 1 for moving 1 hex forward. So I'll have 3 points. But I'm half dead, so I don't know what that does. That's what, subtracts 2 or
Well,
subtracts
Yeah,
1 or
yeah.
something?
Well, so actually, what you have, you really got 5 points. 'Cause, I mean, you got your 2 printed value, you
Oh.
got your 2 heavy cavalry value, you get your 1 for having advanced a hex, but then -2 for being half dead. So you're back to 3.
They're light.
They're light.
Cavalry.
They're hussars, so it's just a plus 1.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
All right.
So I have plus
Oh,
4,
you
did you
even-
say?
It even says it right there on the tin, doesn't
Yeah.
it? So really, then instead of plus
4, it's plus 2. Or no, I'm half dead, so I'm
2,
1.
3, 4, -2.
Well,
Yeah,
why would I
let-
have less
let-
effect? Wouldn't I be halved? My effectiveness rating
Well-
would be halved?
So that's a fair point. I'm going to go double check and make sure that I've got this clearly understood. We've been playing with an optional rule in the bar rules. A unit CV is halved when it takes 50% or more losses.
Mm-hmm.
This method affects units with better CVs more heavily than lesser.
Right.
That is to say, a +6 would lose 3, whereas a +1 would stay 1.
Right.
That doesn't seem right. So for players who would like every unit to be affected by losses more or less evenly, change point 1 of the rule 13.11c to read subtract 2 from a printed unit CV if its current SP losses are 50% or more of its printed value. So that effectively makes that guy's now down to 0.
I know, but that optional rule was for the bigger pluses. So now that's not making it fair for the weaker units. So it should be something like if you are an effectiveness rating of 4 or more, or actually of 5 or more, then it would be -2.
Well, that would
But
be a
if
different
it's
optional
but
rule,
if it's
wouldn't it?
anything else, then it should be halved.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be fair then.
But I don't know if fairness was actually the objective. I think
But
the
it says right
objective
there,
is
it says the optional rule is for fairness for bigger units.
No, it wasn't fairness for bigger units. It was that bigger units you would expect, units with a higher CV, frankly, you'd expect them to be less affected by the casualties than ones with lower CVs.
No.
It actually
But the paragraph that you read actually said for the sake of fairness for bigger units.
No, it didn't say fairness.
Oh, what did it say? It sounded something
Okay.
like that. Did it say equity? Did it say
No,
diversity?
it didn't say equity. You've been living in California too long, brother.
Hey,
It
how about we
says
just say we give it the better of the thing there.
what it says is the method affects units with better CVs more heavily because of, a +6 CV unit becomes a
Sure.
+3, and does not affect worse CV units at all because a +1 would remain a +1. So that's all it said.
Okay.
Uh, I don't know. I mean, it is. I mean, I guess we could argue it 10 ways, but we have been playing with the optional rule. So, I mean, it should be -2.
Yeah, but this is the first time we've had a really crappy unit who's been affected by it. So
This
that's
is
where
probably
I'm
the most
saying.
noticeable example. You're
Yeah.
right.
And so therefore,
Yeah,
I mean, then I'm a 0 instead of a 1, right?
that's right.
Yeah. So that
With
doesn't
a-
seem equitable.
Well,
So how
do you want
about
to be +1?
You're going to be a
Do you
total
want
of
to be
three.
+1?
I'm
gonna
going to
be a
be
total of
I'm going to
three,
be
or
a
are you
total
gonna
of
be a
3. I'm
total
going to
of
be a
two?
whole
Oh,
whopping 3.
There you go. You're a total of 3.
Yeah.
How about that? The attackers, on the other hand, are 6, 7. How much did they move?
They moved
They
one
didn't.
heck. Oh, they didn't move at all. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They didn't. Okay, so 7. All right, so 7 to 3, so it's +4, and the odds are whatever. It's the right
It's
column
5 to
for
1.
sure.
Yeah. So
6
this
to
is
1.
when I'm hoping for a 0 roll, Dave. See if you
All
get
right.
another leader killed. 45. Well, that's not going to be good enough. That's going to give you a plus whatever. So they are going to be toast.
Is it +4?
Yeah. So a 4 at 5 to 1 is 3R,
Or no.
or 6 to 1, I should say.
6 to 1. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3R. So there's only one increment left. So they just cease to exist.
Oh, and actually, it would actually have been worse than that because, again, remember, for every full odds ratio beyond 6 to 1, you add 1 to the attacker's die roll.
Yeah.
So it would have been plus even more because the odds were really far beyond 6 to 1.
Yeah. No, it was they did their job. They were there to be
All right.
speed bumps.
And they got bumped.
Yep.
All right, very good.
So they actually would have surrendered. So now there's no pursuit in that case, right?
Nope.
Yeah, there's nobody to pursue.
Right.
Yeah.
And all right. So what are my options? I can move.
So what you must do is move somebody in. You don't have to move everybody in, but you got to move somebody in. And whoever moves in is not in anyone's zone of control and therefore can adopt any facing he chooses. And actually, it might be entertaining to have him just bring one of them in, face him southeast, so that it'll affect the battle that's about to happen. And
Yeah.
yet you've got somebody behind you who's still protecting your flank by being able to op charge or reaction charge.
Yep.
That guy. So that would be a way to do it.
That's what I was thinking. If I could do that, that sounds like the most reasonable.
Genius. All right. Well, which one do you want to do
All right.
next?
Well, let's try this one here.
All right. Now that guy has not yet rolled a defender morale check, so he needs to go ahead and do that. But of course, he's at a 44, it looks like. Well, actually, I'd take that back. He's got a -12 for Nadazdi, but a +10 for having somebody in his flank. So he's really at -2.
71, they pass.
All good. All good. Okay. All right. So I suspect this is 1-to-1 odds, or did it make it to 1.5 to 1?
I've got I think
think it-
12.
Yeah, I only got. Oops, I got some extra charge mark.
Yeah, I've got 12.
Okay, so it is 1-to-1 from an odds perspective.
Yep.
All right, all good. Okay, and the attackers, the top 4 increments are +4 printed value, and then +2 for being heavy cavalry, so that's 6. And then how many hexes did they advance?
3.
3 hexes.
Okay, so that's going to be 9 altogether. And then the defenders are
Are plus
3,
3,
4,
plus
5,
2,
6,
7.
7.
Yep. So there's a +2 total is the difference.
No, because you are 7. 3
7.
plus 2 for heavy cavalry, plus 2 more for Nadasdi, but then -3 because you have somebody in your flank.
Oh, okay.
Face. So you're actually in one of his front hexes. And so that deducts 3 from you. That's what
Okay.
they call a passive enfilade. In other words, the guy attacking you isn't coming in on your flank, but you can't help but notice that there's somebody
Right.
right there. And it obviously is troubling. So that instead of 7, it becomes 4. So the attackers were 9, the defenders are 4, so it's +5
plus
at
5.
1-to-1. Is that right?
Yep. 1-to-1 plus 5.
All right.
1-to-1 plus 5. Time for a 19.
Oh,
17,
almost as
not
good.
too-
Close.
So that's going to be a 1 for you and a 3R for me,
Ooh.
right? Because the difference is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10, so you're at the top of the chart. So it's about as good a roll as you could have done.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, all right. So that means
This
they're both going to be at
guy's-
2 losses, I guess,
Yep.
probably, right? Yeah. And it looks like they're going to have to run southeast in order to avoid that enemy zone of control.
Yep, that's fine. All right. And so that's going to go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so they have to go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That'll work.
Okay, cool.
All right. And then
they're
and the
routed.
attacker. Yeah, routed.
Yeah, I'm pulling a counter off the map. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
The attackers, somebody has to advance.
And somebody takes a
and-
loss.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
On the top unit.
Yep, there you go. All right. You could have taken it on either the top unit or the hussars because it just has to be the biggest unit.
Oh, okay. Then,
Either way, it's on you.
Yeah, I'd probably do it on the SARS then. So that's
And then somebody's got to advance into the hex, and
Correct.
whoever advances is going to have to face south because of the pursuit potential. Or you won't be able to do the same trick you just did to that last poor jerk by pushing into the other guy's flank.
so.
But what the heck?
Oops.
And it looks to me like you once you move in, you could actually advance 2 hexes if you felt like it before you run into somebody's zone of control, because I think that's just a leader right here.
Yes.
Right.
So what I roll?
Oh, all I was
So
saying
roll
is
for your roll for pursuit points.
roll
Right.
for pursuit points.
So you have 4
4.
points.
Right.
So you can
Yeah.
move 2 forward and
Yeah.
and kill another 2 of my increments and end there next to the heavy cavalry. Or you could
You
stay
could try
where you're at
on that.
and
Right.
and roll without a penalty.
Decisions.
So those are, That
But-
would put
Or,
those.
or
both-
actually, you could split the difference. This is something we don't think about too much. You could advance one
Right.
and then decide to recall. And whether you succeed or not, you've still got 3 free movement points, one of which is to turn around, to move back here, and then to turn back facing south. Now, you might be shaken, or excuse me, you might be disordered at the end of all that, but you will have definitely gotten rid of one enemy increment. Or you can just not do it. The point is more pursuit points gives you choices.
Right. So if I pursue for 2, then I will have both those units. Those are 6s, right?
Nope. One's a 7,
Nope.
one's a 6.
One's
Yeah.
a 7, a 6. Well, one would be halved.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. That sounds like that's worth it to me. I'm gonna pursue 2. So
Okay.
that puts me there.
All right. And then you're going to roll at is it
Minus-
+5 for every pursuit point you've spent, or is it +10? I don't remember which.
I
It's
believe
on
it was
the-
+5, but
It's on the chart. We'll just go ahead and roll. If you roll well enough, we don't have to
Roll.
worry about it.
Well, 98, it don't
31.
matter.
And
Well, in
they're
that case,
probably
we've
gonna
done
be
that might not.
something. That's not good enough.
Nope, that's not good enough. So he's disordered, right?
So, yeah, unless he's a 21, he's disordered
No,
now.
no, it's not.
Okay.
All right, so that one's done.
Okay.
And we still have 2 charges left.
There's still
I know.
So let's do this one here.
Okay. So I have to roll to see if I stick around. Right?
Indeed, right.
And I'm already
And it's
shaken
gonna
and
be
disordered, so I might just bolt if
Plus 25, actually.
yeah. Oh my
And he
gosh.
has-
Oh,
We're
he's
we're
Death wish.
committed. We're committed.
Death wish.
That's all right. They saw their other friends go out in a blaze of glory.
So it is 10 to
5 to
1
1.
odds.
5 to 1.
10 to 1 because he's halved for being
Oh.
Yep.
disordered.
Oh.
The
Okay.
attackers, what's your top units, CV, David?
It's a +5.
+5, so it's +6. And the defender is, well,
Well, and I'm shaken,
Minus-
so that's a minus whatever. It's just terrible. Just go ahead and roll.
-3.
Roll a 0 and we'll all laugh about it. Anything else and they're dead.
So it's 9. So it's 10, 11. Ah! God!
That is perfect.
And you don't even kill them all. That's the worst part.
Yeah, so
You
2
take 2 hits, takes 1.
Yeah, so 2 losses and I take 1 loss. That is hilarious.
Couldn't get laid in a cat house.
Now David knows how it was when I was assaulting the Colonials' guns with a bunch of Hessian mercenaries. Odds were just 5 to 1, 6 to 1, whatever. I had all more pluses than I could count.
Oh, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
All right.
All right, so then we have to roll our M. So I know I'm going to roll my M first. Hey, I'm definitely want to do this again. Let's have you roll yours.
Do I have an M too? I didn't.
Yeah,
have
yeah.
one.
Everyone's got an
You
M
gotta-
on
you gotta
the
roll
on the
Alright. Now,
special results
I?
table.
Do I have to take them both off the top, or is it one off each? Or does it keep being the largest until you're even?
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't even know what size it is.
Well, they're both 8s.
Okay.
They're not 8s now.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them was a 6, one was a 4.
So
So
right.
when we take combat results, strength point losses
Yeah, so you could put both of them on
Stricken?
the top.
You distribute the SP losses as evenly as possible amongst the participating non-artillery units, starting with the largest SP unit involved. So
All right.
both of them would have to take one hit if you took two.
Yep. Okay. That's what I want. Okay. So I'm still not halved at least on there. So
Yeah, right.
Roll
All
another
right.
08 and make me laugh.
there you go. No,
Oh, they're gonna
can't get much
rout.
better than that.
Unbelievable.
They probably surrendered actually, but
No, you wouldn't surrender.
no, you surrendered.
No, you failed your morale check. You lose
Oh,
an
that's-
increment and you rout.
Oh, I thought that was the thing. Okay.
No,
No.
the 92 was my
No,
morale
you
check
still
roll.
had to. You
All
still
right.
had to roll your morale
Your
check.
morale
then.
check. Yep.
So
Oh
now you're
my
half
God.
dead,
Now
Now you're half dead.
and they're both routed. That is hilarious.
Running. Yeah, 10 to 1's not quite good enough.
Yeah, these Austrians are made of sterner stuff. That is absolutely hilarious.
yeah.
Machinations of fate, baby. Now this is when I really enjoyed that special results chart. At Prague, I wasn't that wild about it. Like, what?
The Lord giveth.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. And I can't pursue because I am shaken and disordered, I guess. Or do I pursue?
Sure, that's a good point.
Well,
Because,
he's in a zone of control already.
well, actually, though, pretty sure that you don't have any choice. You have to advance after combat. When defending units vacate the attacker's front hex, if a defender was in the attacker's flank hex, there is no advance after combat. Right. If, as a result of close combat, attacking units vacate the front hex of a defending cavalry unit in line or attack column formation, at least one defending cavalry unit must advance to occupy the vacated front hex. Defending cavalry that is attacked solely through its rear or flank or whatever. Anyway, so yes. And actually, he would roll for pursuit, but I think
Yep, I still roll, but I'm going to be halved on my pursuit because I'm disordered.
yeah. So go ahead and roll.
A 4, so
Okay.
that's going to be 2.
And then, but I just want to make sure whether you can actually, there is no pursuit in the following conditions that the advancing cavalry is shaken. I kind of suspected there was something to that. So you still had to advance, you still had to, whatever, but you can't go any further.
Was he allowed to turn there? Because if his first movement into that
He was,
puts a unit in his Ezok.
oh yeah, that's a good point.
So I was curious whether I turned because you retreated that way, or because if I faced this way, which is the way I originally was, I'm not actually facing you anymore.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Advancing units may freely change facing in any direction after moving into the vacated hex, but only if that hex is not in an Ezok. Not your Ezok.
Right.
Okay. I knew that.
However, cavalry that can pursue a routing enemy is required to change facing as part of the advance and pursuit procedure, even if he is in an Ezok. Interesting point there is, if I wanted to be really particular about that, I would say that he's not capable of pursuing because he's shaken.
Yes.
So in that case, I would say that.
So I
that
would
he-
still
he-
face the way I was facing previously.
That he was not required to change facing. And then since you're not in an Ezok, you are. That's weird. I really thought there was. Just give me a second.
Hey, we've stumped him.
Advancing unit has in is zone of control after advancing. Right. Okay. All right. And yeah, it is one of those things where it's a little bit back and forth. So because when you advanced into that hex,
Right.
you were not in an enemy zone of control. That meant you had the latitude to choose where you wanted to face. Because you were shaken and therefore incapable of pursuing, you weren't required to face in the direction for pursuit
But
because you couldn't do it anyway.
right. But I could
But
do
you're still
it.
free to.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
I'll go ahead and do that for what it's worth.
Why
But,
not?
now the other thought would be you would, if you didn't do it and just kept this guy in your EZOC, that just would decrease his chances of becoming unshaken at the end of the turn. But
That's a
but
fair
this-
point.
but by turning, he also, if this one fails, which he probably will, since he's getting, but not necessarily, because we've seen
Yep.
Who knows?
we've seen worse. The
Oh, you're
Then
right.
you would
Yeah.
retreat through, potentially
There.
retreat through mine and take
And lose another
loss.
increment.
Yeah.
right.
So,
So
hey,
No,
these
it's got-
guys are going to recover, and then they're going to charge and hit your guns, and that's their plan. That's their master plan.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
they're going to have a little hard, kind of hard doing that. But
Oh, don't worry, David. I'm just pulling your
I'm
leg.
not worried.
Yep.
You got to go through that sunken road.
Oh yeah. No, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
all right.
So
In the
last
meantime,
but
last but not least,
least, right. So what do we got
So
going?
it's what? So the odds are 4 to 6. So it's 1 to 1.5, right?
Yep,
4 to
1 to
6.
1.5.
Yep. 1 to 1.5.
Okay. All right. And let's see now. Did you advanced a hex? Is that right?
I
So
advanced 2.
Both people. So he was here, and he went 1, 2, and I went 1 forward.
Okay. All right. So David's got a 5 minus
is-
2, 3 printed value, right?
Right.
And then he's got plus 1, 2 for having advanced 2 hexes.
But
So that takes it back to 5.
does that only count if you're attacking somebody who's in your front face?
I still have the momentum.
Yeah, but your
Uh,
momentum's going the
what's-
wrong way.
No, that's a good point, actually. It's so rare that, let me just double check. Yes. Cavalry modifiers only apply when the opponent is in the cavalry zone of control. So no, the momentum doesn't help either. So you are just at plus 3 then. And then
1 for light cavalry.
Nope, you don't
no,
get that
not even the
because
1.
You don't even get that?
nope,
Okay.
Yeah.
because it's got to
Both.
be in the front. Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, both of the modifiers under cavalry are only present when the opponent's in the cavalry zone of control. So I think you're just at 3, and then the other guy is at 2 printed value,
Plus
3, 4 for having, you're in his EZOC and he's advanced, and then plus 3 more for 7 because he's hitting you in the flank.
Yep.
So it's 7
to 3.
and 3, right? So
It's a
it's
minus
1 to
4.
1.5 minus
1 to
4.
1.5 plus 4. Or minus 4.
Minus 4, yeah.
And all right, so back to the whatchamacallit. All right.
19? I think that was what you wanted. Was it 19?
Yeah, I might want to 0 something right now.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Just roll.
All right, 19. Nope, that's not it.
So
is not enough.
it would
be
then
minus
it's going to be
3.
a minus 3. So
Yeah.
that is 1R, 1D.
D.
So I lose
Okay.
1 and I'm disordered. And you're
So
going
it's
to
really gonna be 2D.
Because I'm going
Because there's
through
nowhere to
another-
retreat.
Well,
that
he's
doesn't get
routed,
through it.
right? So yeah, he's going to lose 2 and be routed.
Yeah, he's going to lose
Yeah.
1 for the route and 1 for the EZOC that he has to go through no matter which way he goes. And then retreat 6 hexes.
7 or yeah, that's right.
6.
4, 5.
All
I did
right.
the one. I think I did the one next to him 7. So
Oh, well,
because I was doing his movement.
yeah, I know. It's easy to think that. All right, so you've advanced into that space, and you can go ahead and roll for your pursuit.
Oh, a 0. Okay.
Oh dear.
Special.
You know, it's amazing how rarely this happens, but on the special results page at the very bottom left, there is pursuit special
Yep,
results.
I see it. So let's see
So
if we get bloodlust.
Yeah, let's see what
7.
we get.
No, what's that? Hesitation. Reroll
Hesitation.
and have pursue points rounded down. Well, a 4. So that's going to be a 2. And then am I halved again for disorder, or does that?
I would have to double check. It does say in the rules. I remember that it says. I just don't remember what it says. So it's either 2 or 1. And special results for pursuit, hesitation, quarter if the unit is disordered. So you have 1 pursuit point.
1 whopping pursuit point. I think I will stay where I'm at, because otherwise I'm going to come next to the guys in the.
Grenadiers are just
thing.
waiting for you.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, no, I'll stay where I'm at. So, do I still make a check, or since I don't pursue,
You
I
still
don't do
got to
anything?
roll to recall.
Okay.
And I think it's at +5 because you're disordered.
Okay. 21. So I'm shaken now.
I think you're shaken and disordered
Okay,
now. Yeah.
that makes sense.
Our fine guest Perry was saying something about chaos.
Yes, that's pretty much what this is.
That is
I can't
pretty much how you-
complain. I ended up routing, let's see, a bunch of his units, ground a bunch of stuff into putty, and no, I think I came out a little bit for the better for it. And Haddock still has
50-50.
people that can run around and do unpleasant things to you. So
It's like a 50-50 because I took care of routed some of your heavies over there.
Yeah.
And,
just obviously, since you're the one choosing to attack, you'd like to go better than halves.
yeah.
Right. But the dice have other ideas. What is it? Man proposes and God disposes. Well, in this case, it's the dice that dispose.
indeed,
All right.
disposable dice. All right, all of that. So you need to flip over, or no, wait. Yeah, I guess you flip over your leaders, and your wing activation is done.
Yep. That is a foul.
That gets flipped over. This guy, both these both get flipped over.
And we're coming up on 2 hours. Do you need to get your beauty rest, Michael, or what's up?
I'd probably better. I mean, since we have discovered that apparently an activation can take longer than 12 minutes.
That's only it's only because you attack.
Oh, if we just didn't attack, we wouldn't have this problem?
Exactly.
Is that it?
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wish somebody had explained this to me earlier.
Well,
No, I probably should get my beauty rest because I got to get down to Richardson and I got to be ready and I got to have my dancing shoes on all day teaching a class. So I will want to be ready.
All right. Well, Frederick, you can't complain that I didn't try.
Yeah, but I can complain about your die rolling.
Well,
That's the thing.
Isn't it nice that you guys have bad luck for a change? It's not just the Austrians. So
No, I was just going to say the nice part about being the king is I can change my mind about what I'm mad about.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's all good. You know what? We just had to take the battle to them and win or lose. Well, whatever. They're just electrons.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I'm going to save as right quick here.
Yep. Did that.
And that's 1640, middle of the hour. And I will thank you, gentlemen, for your kind attentions this evening.
Well, and thank you for playing here on a Monday night. We should be in better shape. I should be able to play on Sunday. So I don't know that unless anybody else has got any issues, I think we should be good for the 21st. Sunday the 21st, right?
Yep.
I should be good. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, that should be good to go.
All right. I will end the broadcast and